All right, let's unpack this. Sustainability reporting. It's a huge area, constantly changing, isn't it? And it feels particularly crucial for businesses right here in the UK.
Absolutely.
So today, we're doing a deep dive. We've got some key government sources, consultations, draft standards,
Hmm.
and we're going to try and cut through the noise, really extract what you need to know about the UK's new sustainability reporting standards. Think of it as a shortcut.
It's a good way to put it. And what's really quite transformative, I think, is how the UK is working to align with a global baseline for this kind of reporting.
A global baseline.
Yeah. The UK Sustainability Reporting Standards, UK SRS, they're called,
Yeah.
they're fundamentally based on the global standards from the ISSB.
The International Sustainability Standards Board.
Exactly. So we're talking UK SRS S1, that's the general requirements for, all sustainability financial info. And then UK SRS S2, which is purely focused on climate-related disclosures. And the core idea really isn't just box ticking. It's designed to give investors comparable, genuinely useful information, helping you understand how sustainability actually hits a company's financial outlook, governance, strategy, risk, metrics, the whole lot.
Right. So for someone running a business in the UK, what's the bottom line here? What does it really mean day to day?
Well, the government's ambition is pretty clear. Make the UK a global center for sustainable finance. That's the big picture.
Okay.
And to do that, the estimates are, well, they're staggering. Around 130 billion needed each year on average until 2050 for the net zero transition.
Wow. 130 billion a year.
Yeah, and most of that, the vast majority, needs to come from the private sector.
So these standards are basically the bedrock for that, building trust, making investment possible.
Precisely. They're fundamental for building that trust and transparency needed to unlock all that private capital. Getting it right is more than just compliance. It's about staying competitive.
Which brings up a key point. How do these UK standards actually stack up against the global ISSB ones? Are they identical, or are there UK tweaks?
Good question. They aren't identical. The UK government has made specific changes based on expert advice. For example, there was a transition relief globally, letting companies delay reporting in year one. That's gone in the UK SRS.
Ah, okay. So the expectation is integration from the start.
That seems to be the signal. Integrate sustainability with financial statements right away. But there is a helpful bit, a climate-first approach. It's been extended to 2 years.
Climate first, how does that work?
It means you could, say, focus just on climate disclosures in year one, and you can even exclude Scope 3 emissions initially.
Scope 3 being the indirect ones, supply chain stuff.
Exactly. Then in year two, you bring in all climate disclosures, including Scope 3, and only in year 3 do you broaden out to wider sustainability topics.
Okay, so it's a phased rollout. That sounds more manageable.
It does seem designed to ease the burden, yes.
Now, you mentioned finance earlier. I heard there's something specific for financial institutions about financed emissions. That sounds like a potential game changer.
It really is. So finance emissions, the emissions tied to lending and investments.
Mm-hmm.
The old requirement was pretty rigid. You had to use the Global Industry Classification Standard, GICS.
Right, a specific system.
That requirement has been removed.
Really?
Yeah.
So what does that mean practically?
It means you can use any appropriate industry classification system. This could dramatically cut costs, allow much better integration with systems you already use. It's about flexibility.
That sounds significant. More flexibility, less cost, potentially.
Definitely. And another subtle but important shift, the wording around referencing external guidance, like the SSB materials.
The industry-specific ones.
Yes. It's changed from shall consider to may consider.
Shall to may. That lowers the bar quite a bit, doesn't it? Less burden to prove you've looked at everything.
Exactly. More flexibility, less burden. That seems to be a theme in the UK adjustments.
And speaking of streamlining things and building trust, there's something else happening in parallel, right?
Yeah.
About assurance providers.
Spot on. There's a proposal for a new voluntary registration system for sustainability assurance providers.
Voluntary. Okay. What's the aim there?
To boost transparency, basically. Help you identify qualified professionals to actually verify your sustainability reports. And what's interesting is the profession-agnostic approach. Meaning both traditional auditors and other non-audit professionals can register. It's not limited to just accountancy firms.
I see. And that helps UK providers compete internationally, maybe with things like the EU's rules.
That seems to be part of the strategy, yes. Keeping UK assurers competitive globally, especially with frameworks like the EU CSRD demanding quite extensive reporting and assurance.
So pulling it all together, the big takeaway for businesses listening, what is it?
Well, look, There will be upfront costs, adapting systems, collecting data that's undeniable. But the government clearly anticipates major long-term benefits, a more resilient market, maybe even a lower cost of capital for you.
Lower cost of capital would be nice.
Wouldn't it? And also the ability to develop genuinely better, more innovative strategies because you understand your sustainability impacts properly. And they are actively asking for input, by the way, especially from private companies. On these costs and benefits, they also want to avoid pointless duplication with existing reporting.
That's crucial, avoiding duplication.
Absolutely.
So maybe the final thought then, connecting this to the really big picture. If you embrace this proactively, go beyond just ticking the boxes. Could this actually unlock new investment and, maybe more profoundly, reshape your whole business model for the long haul? Give you a real competitive edge in this, well, rapidly changing world?
That's exactly the question to ponder, I think. Moving beyond compliance to strategic advantage, how can you leverage this for resilience and growth in the future economy?
Something to definitely think about as you navigate this new landscape. Thanks for diving deep with us today.